Hey everybody, welcome back to another Max Chat. It's been a while. We're going to talk today about Corgis, of course, and finding a vet is the main topic, but we're going to veer off topic a lot. So my name is Max Duarte, and my wife, Suzanne, is our Corgi breeder. As a hobby, she breeds Corgis. And my son Gavin is our engineer / tech guy, so he's going to be running the thing. So every once in a while you're going to hear from him.
And he's super cute too.
And so, anyways, we have a litter of puppies that are 8 weeks and 2 days old. Do you want to go get a puppy?
Sure.
Ta-da! Anyways, yeah, this is a special puppy. Why, Suzi?
She was born visually impaired. Her right eye was underdeveloped. It's a fluke. It's not inherited. She saw her vet right after her eyes opened, actually at about 3 weeks. We waited about a week. And the vet said we should see the ophthalmologist, which we did about 2 weeks ago. And the ophthalmologist said it was a non-inherited, just something that happened. She was born with her right eye looks a little hazy, and it's just an underdeveloped eye. Her left eye is good. Vision was checked. You can't really tell a puppy's vision until they're 16 weeks old. So we'll wait when she's 16 years old. Either if we have her. What did I say, months?
Years.
Oh, years. Oopsies. It's weeks. And then either we'll take her or her new family will take her. And it's not that anything needs to be done. It's just going to be to check her vision to see how much she can see. She seems to, her eye reacted to light. And she seems to be able to pick some kind of motion up. So she's not completely blind at this time, but we'll learn a little more a little later.
So, I don't think we've mentioned this before. We may have, but I'm visually impaired. And so is Suzi, by chance. I only have peripheral vision. My center vision is gone. And so I don't drive, and I use the magnifiers to read and such. And Suzi has some vision issues due to diabetes. We have talked about Suzi's transplant in the past. She's had a kidney transplant, but this is not about us. It's about dogs, and so we didn't mention it much. But anyways,
well, let's talk about it.
Okay, what would I say?
What is your visual impairment?
Leber's optic neurotenopathy. It's where the optic nerve starts deteriorating from the center out. And so you have no central vision, and slowly you can go totally blind, or it can become stable at any point. It's usually in older people. I got it at the month of my 21st birthday. And it started affecting me in the month of my 21st birthday. It's passed on by the female reproductive system, so my mom passed it on to me, but I cannot pass it on to my kids. So I do have a sister who can pass it to her 2 boys, but it's going to die there because I only have one sister and she had 2 boys. If she had a girl, it would continue in the process. But since she had 2 boys, even if they are carriers, it dies with them. They cannot pass it on.
Yeah.
But anyways, she seems pretty content to stay there. I guess we could keep her. With us.
She's a good girl.
Yeah.
If she gets wiggly, I'll take her back out.
So you mentioned that we're going to take her at 16 weeks old for the eye, or her new family would, but you get the puppies actually vet checked at 9 weeks?
I like to do 9 weeks or 10 weeks. It kind of depends on vaccinations too, but that's kind of another
whole
thing. Yeah. But yeah, and these guys have an appointment next Monday, and they'll be just 2 days short of 9 weeks. And they're usually able to go home to their new families at 10 weeks old. So we'll kind of see how that all works out. But our vet, our super awesome vet, will check them out for any health conditions that we may not know about at this time, may not see. Maybe heart murmurs. So far, they all seem really healthy. Nobody is, sluggish or acting off in any way. They're all playful and seem fine, but we just want to make sure. I don't want anybody to take home. Except for her eye, which we do know about, and we could see that. So that's why we took her in.
So what were you going to say about the vet check?
Well, you asked about the vet check, and that we check them at 9 weeks old.
I looked at her and
I know, because she's so cute.
But so Becky is your vet. Her name's not Becky, obviously. Only Becky. It's Becky.
Dr. Becky Williams.
Becky Williams.
Yeah, and she's wonderful.
Yeah. What made you choose her?
I chose her because she is super extremely knowledgeable about corgis, especially. Yeah, and then just through the corgi circles, I heard about her, and it's just I feel really comfortable with issues that maybe a vet that's not so familiar with corgis, that she would kind of pick up on things maybe before maybe another vet. And
Right.
she's great. She's great with the dogs. The dogs love her. We love her. She's great.
Awesome. Now, she's how far away from you?
You know what? It's only like 21 miles, but we're here in Chino and we have to take the 91 freeway to get there. And so I have to make the appointment, usually at 10 in the morning is pretty good. And usually I kind of miss most of the traffic, but one day it took me 3 hours to get home.
With puppies in the car.
And 21 miles. Yeah, with not new puppies, but health check 9-week-old puppies in the car. Yeah, that was bad and was really nerve-wracking.
California heat. Southern California heat, anyways.
Yeah.
But, anyways. So how did you choose her? How did you find her? Somebody, a breeder, another breeder? Or?
Another breeder had
you about her?
told me about her, and knowing that she's pretty close. And she's at Yorba Regional Animal Hospital, and it's a very well-known animal hospital in the area. And they do great work over there. Everyone there, staff, everyone there is wonderful. I've never had any kind of bad, negative experience whatsoever.
Is that the only vet you use, or do you use other vets or clinics for different things like eye checks or?
Oh yeah. Well, she's my main vet, and if she's not able to see the dogs or puppies, and there's anything going on, I'll see any vet there, no problem. They're all great. Any issues with corgis or their health, I do like to see and talk to her. But I get their hips checked at a different vet because it's a little less expensive. However, it's nice to see Becky to do it, Dr. Becky, because she
Dr. Williams.
Dr. Williams, because she knows corgis.
Yeah.
So we do, if we prelim the hips, do an X-ray, or for the main hip X-rays to send to Orthopedic Foundation for Animals. She kind of knows what she's looking at.
So you take them to her also?
I do take them to her also, and I started doing that, and I think I'm going to continue because I feel like I get a good idea from her before I have to wait and hear from OFA, their opinion.
So I noticed that when you made the appointment for this puppy check, and there are 8 puppies, you asked for 2 visits. So you're basically going to pay for 2 appointments because there's so many puppies, or is it because you have so many questions? Or
I always have so many questions.
Right.
Even when I see my doctor, I'm like, I need 2 appointments. Let me tell you, 15 minutes is not enough. So, they didn't actually charge. They're going to give me an extended visit, I believe, because it's a puppy visit, and she does evaluate the puppies, other than just health. She takes a good look at them and just sees how conformationally and look-wise sees how they are. But that's why I need extra time, because I do have a lot of questions about certain issues with the puppy. She's already seen this puppy, and I don't really have any questions necessarily. But I always have
On the
questions.
other ones?
Yeah, I always like to have extra time.
so what do you I'm sure you recommend her to anybody that acquires a dog from you, but what do you think people should look for when they're looking for a vet? What are the main issues?
Well, for me, when I was looking, and I do think this is important, is to have a vet first and foremost. I think you want to look at somebody nearby, kind of look at the vets nearby, get recommendations from friends and family, other people in the community that have seen vets and can tell you a good vet. From there, you can go online. For most of the vets have websites, and you can read about their credentials. They usually have a bio, and it's kind of cool because it says what kind of animals they have and their interests and things like that. You can kind of get a little feel. You can make an appointment for your pet to take them in for a checkup or vaccinations or whatever you're going to be doing, and see, then you can decide you're going to go back or you're not. Or you can actually make an appointment to kind of interview them. Don't take your pet. go in, book an appointment, let them know you're looking for a new vet and you'd like to meet with the vet. And I haven't done that before. I haven't really had to do that before. But that's something you can definitely
Sounds
do.
like a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
You may have to pay for that though.
You usually do. Not always. It's going to depend on the vet, but you usually would, I would think.
And so, I don't know, since we were talking about the vaccinations, some vets recommend more vaccinations than you are comfortable with. So would that be a factor that whether you might stay there or not if they
no
have difference of opinions with you?
No, because I think it's important to stick with your feelings and research and knowledge that you have. And if you feel that you want to say you have a certain vaccination schedule you want to stick to, if you don't want to vaccinate, that's a little crazy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But or if you just anything in particular that you feel about your pet, you need to let them know that. And if they're completely negative about it, then you might want to go see another, and look for another vet. If they are willing to work with you and you can discuss it with them. And that's what's really important, that you can talk to your vet. I mean, just as you would with your own doctor, talk with your vet and feel comfortable with their explanations, their
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Not every pet owner has all, enough time to research everything to the level that a vet has when it's their daily job. So, but, and so, what do you vaccinate for and when?
I vaccinate the puppies at 9 weeks old for their first vaccination, and it's for distemper and parvovirus only. I vaccinate again. Well, I recommend to the new families to do a 15 to 16 week, and then after that, and that's for again parvo and distemper only. Then at 18 weeks, a parvo only, and then at 20 or more, 20, 21, 22 weeks, rabies.
Oh, okay.
Now, we've mentioned before about rabies. Legally in California, it is 18 weeks that they need to be vaccinated. But
you like to wait.
I think it's important to for
Spread
the puppies to be a little bit older, and you do need to spread these vaccinations out. I wait 2 weeks for sure between vaccinations, and it's tricky with the puppy schedule because you do have to get those. You want to get them vaccinated, but you don't want to do it too soon when the mom's antibodies might still be at work, because then you're exposing them to the negative aspects of the vaccinations without even any benefit of the vaccination, because the mom's antibodies will override it.
Oh.
And then if you wait too late, then they can be exposed to some viruses. So there's just a little, tricky level. Healthy puppies should be all right if they're not directly exposed to these viruses.
So what do you tell people they should do as far as care for their dogs when they could be exposed to a virus when they're a puppy? Do you recommend they not go to dog parks or?
Oh, for sure. Don't take your new puppy until they're fully vaccinated. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about rabies, unless, as I have mentioned, they're going to be playing with a bat or a squirrel or something like that. But as long as they're just going to be with the family, don't take them near highly traveled areas where strange dogs are going. Excuse me. But it's really, really important to socialize puppies. So important to socialize them so they're not scared, so they're not aggressive. So because a lot of times fear will manifest as aggression. They're actually scared, but they're trying to protect themselves.
So how do you do both?
You keep your puppy away from heavily traveled areas of other dogs.
Stranger dogs.
Yes. If you have family members with pets, you can take them there as long as the pets are healthy and they are vaccinated, current on vaccinations. And then that's another issue on current on vaccinations. That does not mean every single year, but but as long as they're healthy and current on vaccinations, because if you are going to your mom's house with their dog, if that was your home, you would take your dog, your puppy home, and as long as it was healthy, you'd let them interact.
Okay.
So yeah, it's important that they meet other dogs and go to places, go to Starbucks with you, sit out on the patio, your favorite little cafe that has a patio that allows dogs. Take them with you.
Well,
This little girl
that could
needs to
have
go
trouble.
outside and get a drink. Gabby,
Okay.
could you take her? Are you able to? Could you take the puppy? Yeah. Okay. Put her back with her.
With her friends?
Yeah. I love you. Thanks, Gab.
She's out this way, Evan.
Yeah, so it's really important. It's yeah,
Out this way.
she's out back. Oh, you didn't. Okay.
Oh, sorry, you can. All right.
So yeah, so it's super important for them to see people, all kinds of hats and noises. Don't be quiet. Live your life around those puppies and make sure that they can see other animals. There are puppy socialization classes. You can look for your at kennels. At some veterinarians offer this. They do at Yorba Regional. They have a puppy socialization class that they offer. And even say PetSmart, which I took Daisy to, and she was young, but she was probably a little older than a brand new puppy. But generally, the puppies are going to be fairly well cared for. And it's going to be in a type of environment where they keep it pretty clean in between.
Okay.
And I wouldn't walk the puppy around PetSmart at all. But, if you're in that class area, they usually keep it pretty clean. You can ask them about that and what you feel comfortable with.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty cool. So how many puppies do we have right now?
Well, Taffy has that litter of 8. And then Dixie, who lives with our friends, Tony and Heidi, she had 4 puppies. Well, she actually had
2 weeks.
They're 2 weeks younger. So they're 6 weeks today.
We retired Daisy from breeding after 1 litter, right?
2 litters.
Oh, she had 2 litters?
She had a litter 5 years ago, and then she had the litter over the summer.
Yeah, it's not big. It's not a big breeding program we have here. It's just a hobby of Suzi's, and Daisy we hardly bred. She's a great dog. She's a beautiful dog, but
there was a big span in between. I probably would have only bred her 2-3 tops.
yeah.
But I had the whole kidney transplant issue, and there were about 3 or 4 year gap where I wasn't able to do that kind of thing. So she's such a nice dog that I wanted to do 1 more, and she's almost 8.
Yeah.
She just turned 8, but I wanted to get another litter out of it, and everything went well. And she's very healthy.
So how did you retire her? We didn't send her out to pasture. You actually had to.
Well, she actually is out in pasture right now, but
With the other dogs, though. She's not out alone.
I had her spayed, and I hadn't planned to have her spayed, but I had recently 2 friends who separately, that don't even know each other, had a Corgi that each had a Corgi that got a very bad uterine infection called pyometra, and which is kind of a blanket term for a uterine infection. I think it actually means pussy uterus or something like that. It's something kind of crazy. But, sorry. But so they had to do emergency spays.
Wow.
And both of the dogs were actually pregnant, very like a week pregnant, which is uncommon. But there's a lot in there, a lot of details that we won't get into. But they had to have emergency spays, and their lives were at risk. So that scared me, and I thought, you know what, it's common enough that I want to avoid that. But as I've mentioned before about spaying or neutering a puppy before the age of 2, you're stopping hormones that are really important to the growth. Now, even when your dog is older, with a spay or neuter, same thing, you're stopping those hormones. And there's hormones more than just growth hormones. There are hormones that talk to each other, that tell the dog when they're hungry or when they're not hungry. And one of the hormones that's removed when you do a full spay or neuter is one which is why a lot of dogs get heavy. They're very hungry because their body doesn't know when to stop eating. It just doesn't get it. But what I did is with Daisy is an ovary sparing spay. It's sometimes called a partial spay, but they just remove the uterus and they leave the ovaries. So she will continue to have the hormones, but she won't be able to get pregnant. She is spayed, and she hopefully will have her age gracefully. Yeah.
She still has a heat cycle?
She still has a heat cycle. She knows it. And what's interesting, because I actually haven't talked to the vet about this, but I haven't read it anywhere either. But the boys know it too.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the boys know it too. And I believe what it is there's a hormone or a scent that they pass in their urine, because the boys seem to be very interested in that. And she just had her first heat after being spayed, and everybody was happy though. Yeah, they can have fun if they want.
But the boys will fight. If
yeah, that
over
is
it.
true. That is true.
It can get pretty aggressive. We have to separate them, keep them apart.
Yeah.
We only have 2 boys here, but we have friends who have male dogs too. And when they come over, we got to keep them apart. And it could be trying, but and dangerous.
Yeah, we had a couple of little spats.
Yeah,
So.
pool's good for that. And so, how is she doing, and how did it go?
She's doing great, and interestingly, she had a cesarean section for the puppies back in May, yeah. And everything was great. We had a little issue with, she had a little trouble with the anesthesia, and but other than that, she was fine. Well, when we did the spay, the doctor found actually a mammary tumor. And another little thing, he said it was about the size of a grain of sand. And
wow. And he saw that.
We sent those in for biopsies, and one of them, and I didn't even write down the name of what type of tumor it was. Evidently the other one was nothing.
Okay.
It was just a
fatty tissue.
Well, the one, yeah, and one of them was a type of mass that, although it's not extremely dangerous, you want to keep an eye, because they often will get more of them. You want to remove them because they'll continue to grow. Oh. So she actually had her nipple and the whole mammary gland removed. Now, one thing I recently learned too is each nipple has its own mammary gland. So I didn't know if it was one big mammary gland or what, but they each have their own. The one near where it was found, so it was like she had a mastectomy.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, 1 out of 8.
Yeah, out of 8. So she's still got 7. She's not missing it. She's cool.
Right on, right on. Now, you mentioned she had a problem with the anesthesia. Are there different types of anesthesias, or was she under too long, or what was the issue? Do you know?
She was just sensitive to it, and even after, and she was actually fine. They did keep her a little longer after her after the spay. Yeah, because she was groggy for longer than usual, but it's not uncommon at all that dogs do that, or humans even.
Without getting into too many details, though, I believe there are more than one kind of anesthesia.
Oh, correct? Yeah, there are many kinds, but that would be something to discuss with your vet.
Okay. So, picking a vet, it's besides.
Well, I think it's a good idea to have somebody nearby. Mm-hmm. I think if you have a vet you really like I do, that's a little further away, or depending on traffic and all, it's good to know other vets in the area, maybe even form a relationship. I have a vet that's very close here in town that I also go to. I haven't had to in a long time. My dogs don't get really sick. It's usually a pregnancy thing, checkups, progesterone checks, cesarean sections, whatever. But having somebody close by that you at least know about in case of an emergency or an emergency hospital, but having a vet that you feel very comfortable with, that can explain to you and takes the time to talk with you and explain to you and make you feel comfortable with what's going on with your dog. Especially if there's a health issue, you really need to understand. I mean, it's important to do some research and learn about what your dog needs to be healthy, nutrition, exercise, proper nutrition, proper exercise. But there are so many people that don't even know that for themselves. Yeah. People don't really know.
What was that we were talking about earlier? And it was a type of blood test that you can you do to the dog. Taters.
It's titers. Titers. It's a blood test checking for antibodies to certain diseases. Now, it can either be from vaccination, a parvo vaccination. They can test to see if there are antibodies in the blood. Or it could be distemper, other types of viruses that you can see if there are the antibodies. Now, some people use this as a way to measure whether they're going to vaccinate or not. You've had your dog, it's been 3 years. You're like, okay, I think I want to see if we need to vaccinate, and they'll do this titer blood test. And if the antibodies are good, there's a level in the different diseases that have proven to show immunity or to have immunity. Then they won't vaccinate, or if they're lower. But there is a problem with that because there's not one type of immune. There are many types of immune responses in the body. So it's not just there are T cells and B cells and antibodies and different types of ways for your body to eradicate a virus or an issue. So there's more to it than just that. And it's something you really need to learn about or get a vet that's experienced that can explain it to you.
Yeah, for sure. So you do a lot of testing on your dogs, and I noticed that you started, well, I don't know if it just started. I just noticed for the first time that you take them for eye tests. What are they looking for in an eye test?
Well, these eye tests that I do, it would be like, and they're a yearly test. And it's just to check your, like a human would do to have their vision checked. Not vision, but their eye health. It can check for inverted eyelashes, clogged tear ducts, retinal issues that maybe weren't there last year, different eye diseases that could come up or that you might find in the very first test. The ones that I do, the vet checks, and they will send it to the OFA, Orthopedic Foundation for Animals, and they send it to a panel that looks and reviews the reports and the doctors, and all of that, and then you can get certification and things like that. It's not really necessary, but it the OFA certification, it's nice to have, but if you have a vet that checks and everything looks good, then you're usually okay. If they find an issue, what they will usually do is send it to OFA for them to also evaluate. You've got a panel of 3 vets that are very experienced also, and they will
give you recommendations.
Yeah
That's great. So are these expensive tests for the eye test?
Yes. Now, the cool thing is there are clinics. Different dog clubs, dog breed clubs can put on a clinic where they'll need a minimum amount of dogs, and the vet will go to a place possibly and meet you, or you can take a group of dogs. Veterinarians will do it. That's where I recently took our little girl with the eye issue, and they were holding a clinic, so that was great. We got a huge discount. It was the first dog was $65. The second dog and
every dog after that
was $30. So we had 2 dogs, so we then the price goes substantially down. And then also at a lot of dog shows, not all of them.
Shows, huh?
Yeah, a lot of dog shows. And you can even call an ophthalmologist, a veterinary ophthalmologist, and maybe ask if they're going to be having a clinic. Or you can go on, I think the OFA website even has a thing you can click on, and it'll tell you where clinics will be held.
Right on.
Yeah.
And so there are clinics for eye tests. What other clinics do they have for shots? Probably rabies.
Oh yeah,
all those shots?
You can kind of see like pet stores will have it, feed stores will have a shot clinic, and those are kind of neat because you don't have to make an appointment. A lot of veterinarians will have you pay for a whole visit, which can be plus $35 to $65 and up for just the visit, and then the vaccinations, and you just kind of need to have an idea what's going on with vaccinations. Again, another chat.
Another really neat chat. But so this litter of puppies we have right now, you've been putting a lot of videos up, some pretty good videos, but I'd like to get a video of what you've done as far as litter training them. It seems that you've got them pretty much litter trained at 8 weeks old.
Yeah, well, they've actually been litter trained for about since they started going potty on their own. In the past, I've tried to use litter boxes, but I've introduced it too late. During the puppy's development, there are certain times that they're just doing things. They're doing what comes naturally. Yeah, comes naturally to them. And then they start getting curious. And once that happens, if you put something new in, they're going to eat it and play in it and roll in it and attack it. But this time what I did is as soon as they started going potty on their own, which was approximately 2 weeks old, I put a little cat litter box in there. I wanted something that was low enough that they could get into and out of. And when they would wake up, as soon as I noticed that they were going potty on their own, as soon as they'd wake up, because that's when they go, I'd put each one into the little box. And they went. They absolutely, from the start, went potty. They were like, oh, yeah, I got to go. They went. I used, the first time, it was a puppy litter that I got at Cahoots, but they stopped carrying it, so I said, shoot. And I got the Yesterday's News, which is a brand. It's actually by Purina, but it's Yesterday's News, and it is recycled newspaper, little pellets. And they've never tried to eat these. They never play with them. I have one puppy that sleeps in the litter box every night. That guy sleeps in the litter box. He was in there last night. I was like, oh, man. But it's worked great, and I'm really, really proud of these puppies. Everything stays cleaner. I used to have to throw their toys away about every other day because they were just rolled through the poop, and the puppies rolled through the poop, and there was a poop party all the time. But I wake up in the morning and they're in their little room in the house, clean. The floor is clean, and it's all in the litter box. They rarely go outside the litter box. I had one today, and the box was dirty, and I dumped it, and we put the new litter in, and I think they'll be totally fine now.
Well, we have 8 puppies that we bring into the house, and we also put them out in the daytime. And so we went from a kitty box to what? It's much bigger now.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, what is that, about a 3 foot and a half
3.5
by 3?
feet.
Something like that. But it's basically one of those kind of Rubbermaid type underbed storage boxes. Okay. Because you want to have enough litter and enough room for the puppies, because that cat box I got in the beginning, only one puppy fit in there. And in fact, right now, it was funny, we were out feeding the horses, came back in, and all but one of the puppies was in that litter box because it was all new litter in there. Yeah.
That's get in there. So we had 7 puppies in there. So,
yeah, but this is it'll fit under a bed. It's kind of low. It might only be 5 inches tall, maybe 4, and about maybe 2 by 3 feet or 4 feet, something like that.
Yeah, substantially bigger than a litter box, maybe 8.
And that made a difference because if the box is full, they'll go
wherever they're at.
They'll go, yeah.
So you want to avoid giving an opportunity to go outside of where they want to go.
Yeah, you want to give them every chance to make on their own the right decision.
But they're even our horses. It seems that these animals are instinctually good housekeepers. They want to live in a clean environment, so they keep things in a certain area. That must be a help when potty training, because you set them up with a spot to go, and instinctually they want to go there.
And you want it away from where they sleep and from where they eat, for sure. You want their food and water to be as far away from their potty area as possible.
Because instinctually, that's what they do.
They don't want to go near, and they don't want to eat. And I think that's when sometimes if things get dirty in their environment, when they start eating poop, that can be a reason to trigger puppies to start eating it. Maybe they're just curious and it's there and they eat it, but sometimes once that starts, it's hard to stop. Yeah, it's kind of yucky.
I noticed the horses all go in the corners of the arena instead of where you feed them pretty much in the middle of the arena.
All clean, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was cleaning the horse corrals the other day and made some piles, and one of the horses came up and pooped in the pile. I'm like, all right, get you to do that every time. But so that's pretty cool. But at 8 weeks old, it's very impressive. This morning there wasn't one poop outside of the box. We had visitors over and they were amazed watching them all after they ate.
It's cool. It still is fun. They wake up or whatever, or they're playing, they stop, they hop in the box, they go potty, and they hop back out. Boom.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're super cute. But oh, right on. That's good. So, do you want to get another puppy, or do you want me to go grab one real quick, or do you want to go grab one to show a different puppy, a completely different puppy?
Sure.
Should we grab the same puppy and talk about her coat or whatever?
Oh yeah,
Oh, we
let's
forgot
do
to
that.
talk about her color.
Yeah, let's do. We're gonna grab a couple Well, Gavin, we're gonna go with her and grab.
No, I can go.
You
I
can grab
do
two
it.
puppies.
Oh, two?
That's what I'm saying. I want a color contrast, so you can get the color contrast. So Susie, she DNA tests for color too, and coat, I believe, but I don't know exactly for sure on coat style. But we have redheaded tries and we have reds, and she could explain more about that. I know very little, but this little girl came out very gray, very like a pale color, and I know that Susie can also have the spotty ones. The black spots on their back, not brindle. I forget what they're called. They kind of left me alone here, and I'm not the expert. I'm just going to keep talking till they get back. This is getting embarrassing. Okay, great. What's the one that has the spots on the back? Like Daisy has some of that spotting on her back?
Do you want this one?
Oh, what's it called?
Yeah.
They can't hear you.
Yeah, what's it called?
Sabling.
Sabling. Oh, my God, I said brindle.
There's sable, and there's like sabling, and
Want me to hold on?
sure.
Oh, this ugly one right here. This is the ugliest one.
This is Marlin.
Marlin.
Just kidding. Remember
Oh,
last
yeah,
time?
remember Marlin from last litter?
Okay, whatever.
Probably not. Okay. So, yeah, her coloring is very rare.
It's unusual.
It's weird for us.
It's
It's the first one we've
unusual.
had.
Now, I DNA test the parents for color because I think it's really interesting, and I wonder what kind of, colors they can produce. I usually know, but you can find out if they have genetics, the genes to lighten the color, lighten the red color. Now, this guy, he's a pretty good red. He's a fairly dark red, and they're both genetically reds, but she's gray. She looks gray, and she's light, and she's getting lighter. So I'm not sure if she's going to continue to get lighter or if she won't get darker. I very much doubt she'll get darker.
And do you test for coat, or is that just like different kind of coats, like a fluffy or?
They have it's called long or short hair, and
You don't test for that, though.
I do test
Oh,
for
you do
that
test that.
because
See,
I'm
I knew it.
interested because I learn things every single time, every single day. But every time I breed, I learn new things, and I found out last time most of my dogs have fairly short coats, and where can you see him best? Over here?
Yeah, just behind you.
That's his back.
Yeah, he's just behind the.
Here, there we go, buddy. Don't chew on the cords. Okay, so I found out Dr. Becky said that sometimes. Sorry.
Oh, he's wiggly.
Did that
These
hurt?
dogs are not very wiggly. Usually, this is the first batch or litter that we've had that you can pick up these dogs 99% of the time, and they just chill.
I'm not holding him very securely though, so he
Okay.
probably doesn't like that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, baby.
Sorry, baby.
But Dr. Becky said that perhaps the reason I don't have any have great longer coats, but not fluffies,
Yeah.
is because they probably don't carry the fluffy gene, and that can help to get a longer coat.
I'm gonna grab a different one.
Okay. So yeah, Gavin. So I tested all the dogs. None of the dogs carry the fluffy gene. Oh, except Phoebe. Phoebe does carry the gene. Now, if we bred her to over at Tony and Heidi's also, yeah. So if we bred her to a male that carried or had both genes for the fluffy coat, we'd get fluffy puppies. But we won't because Axel doesn't carry it. Only Phoebe carries it. But all the other dogs have the gene for a short coat. But we have some good coats in this litter for sure. No fluffs, but oh, hey, which one are you? You're a little
This
boy.
guy. This is a redheaded try. His head's not red yet, but it's gonna recede. The black's gonna recede, and red will come in.
So, and then I test for naturally bobbed tails because we have discussed the docking tail thing.
Syndrome.
But none of my dogs carry the natural bobtail gene at all. They all carry only have the short tail. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, only the long tail.
Long tail.
Only long. Yeah. So I can't even breed for that with my guys I have right now.
Oh. Hi.
So we test for color. We test for coat length, bobtail gene, and every test they have for diseases that corgis can
Be tested for it?
Yes, that I know of. Every test that I know of.
You probably know of all of them.
Well,
But all right. So want to call it?
Call it? Wanna call it?
Want to call it, and we'll do another one maybe in a couple days.
yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening, and
Thanks, Gavin.
yeah, if you guys have any ideas or questions for Suzi for another podcast, it's Suzi. Wait, what is it? SoCalCorgis.com is the website, and SoCal Corgis on Facebook. You guys can go on there and message her or email her.
Yeah,
or
and I have
whatever it
all
is.
my contact information on there. So
Yeah. So if there's anything you want us to talk about or any questions for her, we'll address it the next time we can. All right. Ow.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
thanks.